Well, we have just obtained ownership of the beautiful and historic Oakwood Country Club.
I mean, back in the day, that was the country club. I would have never thought that I would have been tied to it, let alone even being a member. Just never thought about that.
You're bringing something big to the table, right, Brian?
That's what I'm telling. That's what I'm being told.
For you two dating.
Yeah.
So tell us about that story a little bit. Dad, I think you should take that one.
I think I'd love to have
See
it.
how good he gets it.
By the time we need to link all these multi-property sites together to create all this wonderful membership-based
Good
things,
thing you have an IT background.
I've got my work cut out for me.
Sure did. That's exactly right. To go get some
Come get some ice cream, yes. And it's so exciting to be a part of.
It'll be amazing.
It really is. It's one of the biggest things I think we've learned.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for being here. We have a great show in store for you, so we're excited to jump in on it. But you know the drill. Grab your favorite cup of coffee and pull up a seat and join us right here on Around the Table with Vickie. I'm your co-host, Chris Runk, and to my left, as always, she's your host, my mother. This is her table. Ladies and gentlemen, Vickie Runk.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the month of May.
We're here, and Mom, to joining us on the show today, anytime we bring in Dad or Brian Runk, welcome back to the show.
Glad to be here.
Always a pleasure to have you here.
He says it's because we need rating
Yeah.
approval.
I wasn't going to say that. I was going to
Improvement.
hold back on that, but that seems to be what happens.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll take it.
But it
Well, that
also
hope we
means we're going to discuss something big, right?
Usually,
Something big, something new.
you're bringing something big to the table, right, Brian?
That's what I'm telling. That's what I'm being told.
And so we're excited. It's been out on social media. It's been released through the news organizations and all, but maybe for folks that are listening on radio or watching via YouTube and our podcast channels, we're excited to share that, you guys, being my parents, has recently acquired a new property to the Runk and Pratt hospitality side of our business. And I'll let you tell what that may be.
Well, we have just obtained ownership of the beautiful and historic Oakwood Country Club, which was founded in 1914 and just full of history, which we all love. We have a lot of historical properties in our family of venues that date back, even some before that. You know some of the dates for West Manor and the Bedford Columns and Bella Rose well back into the early 1800s.
Early 1848, 1823. So 1914 is a little newer, but still significantly.
Yes. And what I love so much about Oakwood is it truly centers around what we talk so much about on this show, which is gatherings and connections and community. And I think that's one of the things that finally sold it to me. This was a property that your dad had to do some arm twisting with me because it just means more work, right?
More work.
But we've met some lovely people, and we are super excited about being involved with Oakwood and opening the doors to more special times with the community as we begin some much needed renovations in the future.
And Dad, I know you were a big driver behind this deal and have been working on it for several months
Right.
prior to purchasing. So anything you want to add to that?
Well, she's right. When it first started, it was thought that we really didn't know if we wanted to do or not at the time. But I think the more that we looked into it, it made sense to be part of the family of what we did and what it brought together. And sort of globally, we're in an expansion project as well with the golf course. The one thing that Oakwood that it lacked right now was a golf element as well. And so being able to combine both the Oakwood and Ivy together in our local town with our local brand, we just felt like it brought a lot of power and it brought a lot of added value to Oakwood. And we do a good job with improving property, so we felt like it was a great opportunity to take something that was historically significant to so many people and had a lot of historic value, and it was in a very prominent part of town that we typically haven't really had a footprint in. So we were excited about what all that does in opening doors for us as a company, but yet to take something that we felt that we can really make something special out of.
Mom, you know Oakwood is you mentioned it, historic site.
Mhm.
And while we had the opportunity to meet the membership on the night that we took ownership, that was evident when we met generations of family that
Oh,
have said,
absolutely. Yeah.
they've been on part of the swim team for 3 generations. That's wild to think about. So what makes Oakwood so special to Lynchburg?
I think just exactly what you said. It has a legacy of, families living there, participating in the swim team, participating in tennis matches, well before that wonderful addition of the indoor courts, which is fabulous, was built on some years back. There's pictures of, the black and white pictures of the tennis courts and them out playing. And it's just been a gathering spot for an exclusive membership based client kind of community. But I think it's just the whole idea that families will gather if they've got a spot. And it's a way to promote families and staying together and leading in life together. And I loved that about hearing everyone's story about my grandfather did this and then my great grandfather did that. And we have sat at the swim team, competitions for generations and generations before. And I think that's what softened my heart a little bit to the deal was that there are some really great members there that can teach us so much about the history. And then looking back into some of those books that we found with pictures and the trolley that was parked out front of Oakwood well back in 1916, and there was a lady standing there, and there was like the
Well, Rivermont looked totally different
right,
in those
Rivermont looked
pictures.
totally different. It had the rails
Yeah.
for the trolleys, which I found so interesting. But the previous owner has this picture up of this older woman. Well, she was young then, but now she'd be much older. And she's standing there at the trolley on the front porch, and she's saying, I just imagine she's probably thinking, I'm going to give him 10 more minutes to finish up with some of his hunting dialogue, because it used to be a hunting club. And then I'm getting on that trolley and I'm going home without him. And I found that comical that even we can look back, as much as 100 years ago or more and know that these ladies didn't like waiting on their husbands when they were downstairs.
Some things never change.
Talking things up. Yeah.
So, Dad, why would you say that the acquisition is important? The acquisition of Oakwood is important in your larger vision for the overarching company and hospitality?
Well, not just hospitality, but it creates synergies for us in all that we do, really. I mean, it creates synergies with the hospitality, with food and beverage. It creates a lot of synergies with both golf courses. Oakwood historically had a 9-hole course up to a certain point, and for us, it just connects a lot of dots that maybe other people really couldn't make all that happen. But I think you combine it with what we already have in our local footprint, makes a ton of sense. As they say, it has extremely good bones. It just needs a little TLC with some stuff. It's not major things that with some vision you can't see being improved. But the biggest thing, the people that we met that really want to see, it has such a history, and people would never want that to not be around. And even for the Rivermont area, it's almost as much of a legacy as the Virginia Baptist Hospital. It's that much of a factor in that part of town.
So if I can interject at that point, I think too that the community in Boonesboro really wants to see Oakwood continue to be successful. And we feel like after, the acquisition now that there just needs to be a business model put there that everybody can enjoy and understand. And so that's what we're excited about doing. But it is everywhere we've gone, we've been met with questions about, we're just so happy that it's going to be able to continue to be a club. And it's important for me as we start the renovation process and as we look at things together as a family that we want to do there, that we remember the history. And I think we have some ideas of highlighting some prints on the walls and making sure that people don't ever forget the past of that place, because there's been so many relationships that have been bred and formed there that have been meaningful through life. And we want that to continue.
And really generational.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been story after story that my grandparents were here and we got married here. And there's so many generational things with that it means a lot to families, and it's memories that they, can pull back about things that were special for the
I
family.
think too about being a member. We're going to open up membership on all kinds of different levels in 27. Not that you can't join now, but in 27 we'll have it all rolled out and ready for everybody. But the fact that we have this place that we can go to Sunday brunch, and for families after you go to church, it's there's been a thing in the past that we would all gather at someone's house, grandma's house, grandpa's house, whatever. And for that club, it's so cool to see that generations have gone to Sunday brunch for over 100 years, and that Easter brunch is celebrated. And all the table, like there's big tables for that. There's sometimes a group of 10, 15, 20 people, and the staff has to get that many seats ready because they're bringing all the family. And they're used to having their picture made in front of the fireplace with the Easter bunny or whatever. Those are traditions that are inbred in that family. So I know for me, when we travel and we're a member of another golf club, one of the things I want to do is acknowledge the holiday in which we're there for. And so if it's Father's Day, we'll want to go up to our clubhouse and enjoy, the members' Father's Day brunch or Father's Day lunch. And so that makes those times special. I don't have to cook, which is a great thing. And we get to remember where we were last year at that time and we see how much we've changed or, how much the course has changed that we belong to or the meal being better or whatever. So I think that's true at Oakwood too. It's memories and they look past in the past years of whatever it is they're celebrating. And it's just a place to do that, which is super cool.
And I would agree with that because those are fantastic memories for me as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we've heard that from members that they do look forward to all those special holiday memories and making them special. And we just hope to add and elevate and reinvigorate that spirit of what that club is and always has been. And I think we're going to do a great job. And I know you have experience in redoing and redecorating and bringing incredible spaces for Lynchburg to enjoy and use, such as West Manor and Bella Rose and Bella Vista, and a lot of Bella Rose, for example, is an historic home.
Yes.
But I know you pride yourself
Yeah.
on keeping as much original architecture as possible
Yes.
in these spaces while also bringing them up to modern times,
Right.
modern code, modern expectation of members to enjoy those spaces, to create those memories you just referred to.
Right. And yeah, I really do. It's, I think that's the way your dad kind of twisted my arm to take this project on is that when we finally do unveil a space that, I've worked on, there's no greater joy for me than to be inside that space and watch everybody's face as they walk in because we've done a lot of surveys with the members. And one of the things that is very evident with every single survey is it's time for it to be brought into a new century. It's time for Oakwood to experience some new decor, some new, inviting spaces. They're tired of looking at the same old thing, which, we all are guilty. We get tired. I sometimes have to move the living room around,
Sometimes.
and I have to get a new pair of drapes
All the
or
time.
I feel
whatever.
like that's a bi-weekly thing.
Yeah.
So, it's time that we just give it a new look and always remembering the flavor of the past. And I'm excited about bringing some of the expertise that I have into that. And hopefully everybody will love the end product. And we're doing a lot of work right now researching as to how that's going to be. And I think it's going to be great.
Well, I think you're missing one other really big point. Us as a company are primarily a senior living company, and we always feel that people want a place to gather, a place to be connected, and that provides that opportunity for a place to have entertainment, but yet be socially connected. And at the end of the day, if there's a health issue in the family, again, we're right there, we're connected. It just gives us another link to be there for that kind of support in the bigger vision that we are as a company. It just plays into the brand so well as to what we're all about.
I think the the normal, ordinary family too, as a unit, we really need to do everything we can in clubs like we have to promote their unity and their stability because out of a strong family unit is birthed champions. I really believe that. And so there's so much that we watch inside our clubs. These, young families coming in, whether it's Light Up the Lawn, or it's the Evergreen Christmas. I mean, inevitably, we're watching these families with young
Or
kids.
even just golf rounds. I
Yeah.
mean, that's something I'm seeing more and more. I mean, the whole family is coming out to partake in a golf round. And what incredible memories for little kids. I know there's a lot of dads out there with their sons swinging a golf club and bringing little toy putters out on the green and hitting shots. I'm seeing it all over social media. And they're creating those memories that'll last a
Right.
lifetime.
And again, we're promoting a place to form and bond a strong family unit. And today, with the world being so upside down and social media grabbing our attention and taking it off of our family, and our children being exposed to so many, you know, unordinary things that you were exposed to. You were outside more. You were, playing in the yard. That's not that way with kids these days. So these clubs that we have can truly promote spending time with your family. And that's what turns my heart a bit, is that we have those spaces to do that.
Well, I'll come back to that in a second, but I did want to bring up, I think this is a really cool God moment that you two can tell. And that is the fact of where specifically Oakwood is located, just across the street on Rivermont. I believe, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's a story exists that was a first date, a first walk down Rivermont for you two dating. So tell us about that story a little bit. Dad, I think you should take that one.
I think I'd love to
feel
have
like
it.
that was your date.
Yeah. So originally, outside of Runk and Pratt, the only other real job that I had back in the day out of college was at the Presbyterian Children's Home, which happens to be less than a mile from Oakwood. And I worked there for 6+ years. And I know when Vickie and I, even before I worked there, this is sort of ironic too, our very first date that we had, we went to, which it is now the Bella Vista Hotel, but we had a date in the restaurant there. And then I took her over to Linden Avenue, which is right outside of Oakwood, and we took a walk down the street. There's this great street there with street lights and beautiful trees, and it was just a very, I thought, romantic place to take you. And we took a walk down there, and was our very first date.
And you gave me your jacket, and that's how I knew I was cold, and you took off your jacket.
There you go. What a gentleman. But that was our first date. I mean, that's where it's at. And ultimately, my first job was right there. And then now we're back there with Oakwood. I mean, I drove by that every day going to work.
You're forgetting about the engagement that was there too.
That's probably the most important thing, is that when we got engaged, I had all of the kids. I probably had 60+ kids that were part of the home.
That lived there. They were orphans.
They were foster care.
Right.
And they helped make signs. And we probably spent 2 weeks making these signs, and they all were part of this thing. And so I took Vickie up in an airplane. My supervisor there was a pilot. And so we had this plan. We were going to, take this flight on a Sunday afternoon. I think it was during finals week, because you really didn't want to go.
No.
I had to twist your arm to go, and at the end you say, "I got to study." I'm like, thinking, man,
that sounds like Mom.
Yeah. She just didn't want to go, but she went, and we flew over. We flew over Smith Mountain Lake for one.
Yes.
And we saw the dam and everything. And we flew back, and we flew over the children's home. And when we flew over, the kids unraveled these massive signs that said, "Vickie, will you marry me?" And I remember that now. We're talking about just like it was yesterday. And, and she started crying and saw the signs and said yes. And I always said,
I didn't have a choice. I was awfully high up.
That's right. If you said no, you were gone, put on the parachute, you're out of here.
Yeah.
But,
and then we had our reception there with the children as well. It was really wrapped around his ministry with foster kids, and which had my heart as well. And we ended up getting married, and 6 months later, and we had our reception so the children could come to our reception. I felt like Cinderella that day because I had all these children wanting to hold my hand and all these things. So the Presbyterian home, which is now Humankind. Was a very big part of our lives, and it just happens to be right across the street from Oakwood Country Club.
And again, it was part of my life every day. I mean, every day going to work, coming to work, I was driving by that. It's just like your normal path when you leave your home, things you drive by. That was it. Never, ever thinking I mean, back in the day, that was the country club. I would have never thought that I would been tied to it, let alone even being a member. Just never thought about that. So
Yeah.
we're excited now.
I want to talk a little bit. I know there's a lot of internal discussions on what Oakwood could look like, but I do know there are some things that are nailed down that you've already put into motion that will happen in the coming months. So I want to go ahead and give folks maybe a little bit of information on what's coming, what they can expect in the coming months. So
If you
want
keep listening to the show, you never know what might be dropped.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you take that, Brian.
Let's hit the pool. I think we're starting at the pool.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
talk about some of the upgrades that are coming to the pool this year.
So the pool will have some new bathrooms. That's been something that has been suggested by the members. So we're just hopping on and putting like doors where there's curtains, where showers are, where the toilet areas are. We're actually putting new doors on them, upgrading the look in there with new countertops and new mirrors. And the great thing that we're doing is putting air conditioning and heating in those little bathrooms outside the area, which has only been just whatever the weather was that day is what you experienced inside. So we're excited that that's going to be conditioned now for families to be able to go in and out and use that space. We have done some work on the pool already. We put our Oakwood monogram, which you were very instrumental in designing.
Got to brand it.
Branding the bottom of the pool. So when the water goes back in a few weeks, you'll be able to have the Oakwood seal on both sides of the pool, which there's a swim team there. So that's really going to be great for them.
The Oakwood Gators.
Yep. And we are in the process of getting new pool furniture. Don't know when that'll come. May not come before Memorial Day, but we are in the process of getting new pool furniture. We are expanding the deck that overlooks the.
Well, I mean, actually, there's not even a deck right now. We're building a brand
Building
new
a deck, yes.
that joins an outdoor patio and the pool, and then we'll overlook a section that will ultimately be 8 brand new pickleball courts. And then there's an area there right now. There's a small fitness center. The plan is to create an outdoor cafe, so they could have outdoor food and drinks, sitting area and gathering area that's centralized by this combined outdoor deck. One thing that everybody has always said is there's these amazing sunsets at Oakwood, so you get to enjoy the sunsets while your kids are in the pool or your kids are playing pickleball, that kind of stuff. And then it's right there next door to all of the tennis courts too. So it should be a great outdoor area. The patio right there from the grill room is right there. So it really should be a great space. A lot of what you'll see is just facelift stuff, like new painting and repairing of some things that just need to be updated, new branding, new lighting. But it goes a long, long, long way. I think that people will see a lot of these things will make a huge difference in just how you feel about the club.
We have hired a new social director.
You read my
Yeah,
mind. That was the exact question I was getting right. One of the first things you put into place, actually probably the first thing you put into place, was a brand new social director for Oakwood. So speak a little bit about Julie.
Well, we put some money into the budget, too, for her to be able to do some things over there. So Julie Wilson has been with me at Liberty Ridge Independent Living. We've been building that program for almost 9 years now. And so it was a big decision to ask her to relocate and take on additional responsibilities. She's putting some girls underneath her that will continue her program at Liberty Ridge. It's great because she's mentoring new talent that who knows where that'll go. So we're excited about getting some new talent and mentorship and training them over there. She has a great wealth of information in her head about groups and different things that we can do to incorporate fun and a lot of variety at Oakwood, which, again, the surveys were asking, we want to have things to do. So she definitely understands our expectations, and she is more than able to deliver them. She's, just a wonderful, woman that loves to listen, which is a big, big deal when you're developing a friendship or a connection with folks. So I'm really excited about what the future holds, and we're just going to continue to grow and do better and better.
What do you think, Dad?
I think that's all important, and it's going to be a great member experience for all of the Oakwood members. Again, it has so much potential there, and our goal is to just, again, keep the history, enhance the services, and make it a much more viable club for the membership. But I think the bigger thing that it brings across the board is we are currently in an expansion project at Ivy Hill Golf Course, adding a brand new restaurant, the whole first floor of the clubhouse, a brand new pro shop, a 6,000 square foot simulator building that also has a fitness center and a cafe inside. So once all of that is done, because in our research, we found out that out of the Forest and the Ivy Hill area, that only 30% of that area are golf members in golf. That means 70% of the people aren't golfers, but they want somewhere, again, to eat, to socialize, to be together. So what we're going to do there is create a social membership at Ivy Hill. This would probably look like something like October when this is all done. But then there would be a social membership at Ivy and a social membership at Oakwood, that you would pick a home club, which would be your home club, but you'd have charging rights and usage at both clubs. So you're really getting 2 for 1. And that gives the ability to have the social memberships, which include the pickleball and the social pieces as well. But then you can upgrade to golf or you can upgrade to tennis. So you have all that ability, and it will probably also link in the golf side of Ashley Plantation. So if you happen to live in the Bedford area or something, you could also get the benefit of golfing there as well. So we feel like just that alone is going to be a huge plus for the community to be able to have all of that, under one membership. So we're excited about that.
Do you want to briefly talk about events and wedding space up
Sure.
at the top? Because that is one with Mark Creasy has been on the show before. Alex Richardson has been on the show. Caitlin has been on the show. So Entwined Events and the Ballroom of Oakwood is stunning.
It's
a great spot.
It is.
So briefly touch on that real quick.
So it's just another choice. And I was just thinking about when you were talking about linking all of these memberships together, you can customize something that works for you and your family. And the event space, same thing. We want to be able to have a certain amount every year that we give away to 501c3 so they can do some fundraising. So I already do that, and we do that based on your request and whether I feel like you link with kind of what we feel. And we've done some great fundraisers for 501c3s here in the area. It's another spot for us to be able to do that, which I'm super excited about. And then, of course, wedding receptions. We are hoping that, we continue to create spaces for businesses and for, the Rotary clubs and all that of the community. And so we have a beautiful spot that I'm, going to pour my, interior decorating into, and we're going to just hopefully open an even more space for you to have opportunity together.
And one great thing, it sounds, we've casted a big vision here, and between the restaurants we own in town and the clubs, one thing that is really cool to sit here and look at, and I think it's something that the world will continue to embrace, and that is experiential-based businesses. Whenever, we don't know what the next few years look like, but I do believe in some way, shape, or form, AI will help automate these mundane tasks that take a lot of our time. And I think you'll see a lot of people that come back to experiential-based businesses, whether that's outdoor activities, more concert going. But I think you guys are smart in investing in creating wonderful experiences that connect families and people together here in Central Virginia.
I think another link too, that the umbrella will allow them to have access to our restaurants at a discounted rate. So that membership gets you a lot of perks, not just the membership. It gets you a 2 for 1. It gets you all of the specific membership and aspects of each club, but then it gives you the ability to.
And if you all can't tell, we've been members of Pinehurst Country Club for a couple of years now. So Brian has been trying to figure out a way to bring all of those wonderful things right here to Central Virginia. So I think he's finally figured it out.
Yeah, it's going to take us, we have about 6 more months in this year. So give us, 6 months to get renovations starting. I think our time frame is focused on the pool. When the pool closes, we start renovations of the grill room downstairs. There's a lot of unused space in the bottom of Oakwood. There's men's locker room that just isn't utilized. And a lot of just renovations, I think that's where you'll see the biggest changes from the standpoint of reno work is the grill room and the dining spaces
Well,
downstairs.
we have to create space for all these new members,
There you
right?
go.
So
Yeah.
that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Well, I
For-
also hear Dad saying that I have a lot of work to do.
You do.
By the time we need to link all these multi-property sites together to create all this wonderful membership-based
Good
things,
thing you have an IT background.
I've got my
Glad
work
it's
cut out.
happening.
And I
for
really
me.
think your first question about how does this play in and what do we think when we first got this plan has evolved over time. When we first thought about it, we were really just thinking about, what does Oakwood do for us? And when we first got that, it was around Christmas time. We just weren't sure. But the more we thought about it and the more we saw these synergies as to how they can link, we're excited. I mean, I'm really excited about what this is going to bring for us and how it's going to create.
And then I think there could be
a
a later
brand.
show that we're not, able to discuss right now about how this really is going to be a major player in what we're doing, but we can't discuss it right now. So I'd say stay tuned.
Yeah.
Well, I also love, just because he's been on the show, to reference a term that John Maxwell uses all the time. And that's what I see you guys creating here in the Lynchburg area. And that's just adding value to people, adding value across all your different properties in your portfolio to enrich lives and create memories and create connection, whether it's senior living or club-based or young families. You're just adding value. So well done. I'm proud of you. And I'm glad I could just be in the background connecting it all.
You're not in the
Yeah,
background. I
nothing
think
at
you're
all.
more in the driver's seat than what you know.
No, nope. I'll let y'all have that. But folks, Dad, thanks for joining us on the show today.
Anytime.
Great
I'm always
conversation.
welcome for that.
If you listen, and make sure you go check out our podcast channels, like, subscribe, follow us on social media. Check us out at VickieTalk.com. But Mom, I know you like to end each show with a quote, so the floor is yours.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. The secret of change is to focus all your energy, not fighting the old, but on building the new. That is very, very good for today. I hope that you have had a good time listening to us and hearing all the changes that's coming, but I also want you to be sure that you help us in connecting all of these together and become a member. We'd love to see you at one of our clubs. It makes a difference to get out and get involved. We're very excited about the next chapter of Oakwood Country Club.
I will add in, if you want membership information, email info@oakwoodcc.com.
Love it. Do that. We are very excited about the next chapter of Oakwood Club for our golf community as well and all of Central Virginia. And until next time, I'm Vickie, and we're literally all today right here around the table. See you next time.